Greetings to you all and welcome back to Let's Play Command & Conquer. We're here on GDI number 10 and we need to find out what we forgot to do, curse you words.
Commander, you've been hustled. The UN wasn't against me. Not all of them, at least. But we had to play that little game to lull Kane into a false sense of security. I've unlocked some new UN funding. It should help take care of this madman for good. Morelli, we got some new toys for you. You've read the classified briefings about Orca, and here she is. I need you and Morelli to take a couple of these babies up and put them through the mill. Concentrate on a radius of 50 miles around Trieste, Slovenia, and see what you can scout up.
Okay, so this level is going to be revolving around the Orca, the attack helicopter. We've been looking forward to these things, they're very handy, we're going to get to put them to good use. Let's have a quick read of this, make sure we're not missing anything. Destroy all Nod presence in this region, pretty standard stuff. First order of the day is to get scouting and to get everyone away from this MCV so we can finally deploy. There we go.
New construction.
To get to work constructing our base, we've also been granted access to chain link fence. Apparently we need UN funding in order to afford chain link, but there we go, we've got it at long last. I will never use chain link fence. If you just want cheap sort of mobility in walls, you get sandbags. If you want tough walls that can withstand damage, you get concrete, which we don't have yet. Chain link's kind of useless. I mean, it has its purpose, I just don't think its purpose is very good. Anyway, whilst we wait for the base to be set up, let's get exploring with this Humvee. We are in the bottom left-hand corner, that's nice. Only two directions to defend that, always handy. Sandbags for no purpose whatsoever, just sat there at the bottom of the base, guarding a cliff. Those enemies could come along the top of the cliff and throw rocks down at us, something along those lines, so that's a good defense we've got set up for that one. Our Tiberian's very close to the base, it's always handy, and some men who aren't going to be a threat at all, and a turret on our cliff, which is rather annoying. Let's get up the comm center so we can see the map and see what we're doing, it's always handy. Whilst we continue to explore, a little bit of a beach. It would be nice if this area is completely water all the way down here, we wouldn't have to defend it, but I don't think it's going to go that way. We always seem to have a perfect defense set up for this, so that's all in good order. Really the enemy's fault for attacking one by one with infantry and then not attacking when they're in range, but whatever. So a long beachfront here, and that's all impossible. Because we've got the strange no entry sign. It means we can't go that way, not even with infantry. Infantry can't work their way around trees, they're not that clever. Which means that nothing can go that way at all, so that's completely safe and completely pointless. So, very nice. I suppose we can build power plants down there if we really wanted to, but we're not going to.
Construction complete.
Get rid of the useless map in exchange for the good map, and then we need to start getting some units. We'll start with the barracks because it's cheap and quick. It looks like we can go up this way, so we'll have a look up here. Looks like we can go up that way. The cliff certainly ends anyway. And looks like we can go up here, past that little thing. Second match of Tiberium, very small, but it's got a blossom tree, so it's never going to run out. If the game really drags on, that'll be handy.
New construction.
So the infantry, same as always. The only thing we don't have is the commando, and I'm not sure if you ever get to build a commando, or he's just given on special levels. Anyway, here is the helicopter pad that's needed for an Orca. One helicopter pad houses one Orca. And I see a turret, which means I'm going to go get an Orca. Now Orcas are of course aerial units, they're helicopters, you know, that's not a big shock there. Turrets can't shoot upwards, the only things that can shoot upwards are purpose-built anti-air stuff and rockets. Some sites of course, big danger, gotta keep your eyes out for those, but also rocket units, the normal bazooka men, they're pretty dangerous against Orcas because Orcas aren't very good at taking them down. Orcas are very expensive, but you get one free with your helipad, in the same kind of way that you get a harvester free. If you lose it, it's very pricey to bring it back up. It's cheaper than another helipad, so you might as well. No point keeping a helipad without an Orca. Now I can't show you what I was going to show you, but the Orca has so many missiles, which I've forgotten, but I think is 4. And once it's fired those, it returns to base and needs to reload. It may be 6. Change of plan, it's 6. We should really be building something, let's get building that. So the Orca has the same kind of thing as the APC, it has these little squares that fill up green every time it's loaded a missile, and presumably these yellow lights which home in on it are somehow missiles being fueled into the cargo bay. I'm not sure I understand that. They do get repaired also by the helipad. If it takes a little bit of damage and returns home, it gets repaired by the helipad. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not certain on that one. Anyway, so that's a dead end, which you can't pass through any of those trees. And that's a dead end, which you can't pass through any of those trees. Which does mean there's only seems to be 2 routes left to explore. So let's get exploring them. As best we can, we don't want to lose our Humvee. But yep, that's definitely a route, and there's another turret. I think I get the drift with this level. And under attack up there, alright, go on Humvee. You seem to be rather active. Off you go. Maybe not the greatest idea. Let's get these grenadiers up there and the minigunners as well. They're a little greater in number than I had first seen, but we can still handle them. Of course we can, they're just a couple of infantry. You hurry up and finish that turret, please. The thing will of course repair when it gets underneath half life, so if we don't hit it fast enough it will live forever, which it seems like it's going to. So I will be getting a second Orca to help deal with that problem. You can't outrange a turret in the same way that you can outrange the GDI guard towers. There they are. So not a good idea to sacrifice half a medium tank to take that turret down when the Orca will get the job done, no matter how long it takes. I'm happy to sit and wait. Maybe at a slightly faster speed, however. The enemy is technically losing... Ooh, hello. The enemy is technically using funds every time it's repairing, but there's something on the cliff behind us. It's an artillery. I put myself in low power, which isn't wise. It's rather sneaky. Fortunately, we have an Orca. But we don't have a power plant anymore, so he actually did significant damage to us. We shall get another power plant up when our harvester returns, which will be very shortly, so don't worry about that. Little quirk of the game there. I tried to repair something when I had 0 funds. Instead of leaving a repair icon over the thing and saying yes I'll repair it when I can, it just says blah, can't be bothered. And it instantly removes the repair icon, which is rather annoying. Anyway, we are playing the game at a fast speed, and you notice just how slowly this is producing. That's because we're in low power, completely blacked out power. We're not even near the power bar. These things take it's either 5 times or 10 times as long to produce, which is a very long time. Certainly not a situation you want to be in, and we're going to need 2 of these, because we were in low power anyway. We need to replace the one that was destroyed. We might want to build slightly far away from this cliff, so I'm expecting more of those attacks. But if we're a little more on the ball, then maybe we can catch them out with the Orcas, and we'll be just fine. You notice this one built a lot faster because we're now in a brownout power, which means we're just lacking a little bit in power, which means everything operates at half speed. Which is bearable, but still not great. Anyway, another helicopter pad for us. Other things we can build, there's a repair bay. We may be getting one of those, we may not. For now, we need Orcas to deal with these turrets. I'm guessing we're going to find more turrets the further up we go. Later on, I suspect we're going to need tanks to form an attack on the enemy's base, and when that day comes, we'll be getting ourselves a repair bay, because they're very handy. Now, I haven't built a second harvester. That's because the amount of Tiberium we have is so incredibly small on this map. Yes, I could harvest it faster, but it's kind of a waste of 1400 credits when we have so little Tiberium. So we'll just play the game at a bit faster pace. That will do fine. Let's hope we can actually finish that helipad with this trip. Then we can get to work destroying things, and we all do love to destroy things, don't we? Yes, of course we do.
Construction complete.
There we go, just! Not just as in the last tick of income, just as in to the credit. That was precisely correct.
Yes, sir.
They can too take down the turret in one go. If they can't, they'll probably get it on the second go. I can take that one down because it was already damaged. Okay, I should assign these to a control group. We'll make them number 1, why not? Because they have the same problem as Chinook do, which means I can't select them in flight. However, now they're on a control group I can, just by pressing the key on the keyboard. Now I'm going to attack with one orca, to soften the thing up to a point where they won't start repairing, just before half. And then I will send them both in to get the job done. They won't kill it in one go if they both go in together. You need 3 to do that. However, if you send in one first to soften and then 2 to follow up, you get the job done. That's lovely. Okay, looks like we can now start a little bit of exploration. I'm going to ask for another Humvee because we're down to just 1. And it's kind of nice to have a Humvee on base defense against enemy infantry. We've only been attacked by infantry so far, so I'm expecting more infantry.
Construction complete.
Just checking we were reloaded. I was expecting another turret to start firing at me, but nothing yet. There we go. That's more like it. We got 2 of them.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Cursed things. Can of course issue orders on the minimap if you get your aim precisely on. It's good for taking out these faraway base defences like this turret. Not so good if you want to pick off a unit in an army.
Yes, sir.
My precision isn't exactly up to that. I don't think any person's is.
Building.
It's blind luck when you get that small.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
So we have 2 turrets that we've slightly dented, and we shall now finish the job off. We'll do that one, then we'll take down the next one. I'm expecting more turrets up on this side as well. But the more scouting we can get in, the better, because then we'll be more aware when the enemies are coming to attack us, and there's another turret, cursed thing. A couple of rocket launcher men, but we were just slightly outside of their range, we're absolutely fine.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, affirmative.
Their attacks aren't very heavily armoured, this is good, but even if they were, the orcas can... You know, they're fairly efficient against tanks. Make no mistake, they're shooting rockets, of course, and they're pretty good against tanks.
Reporting.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Not a problem. Moving out. Yes, sir.
Goes, another attack thwarted. What great plans the enemy has, and they're all foiled so easily. Shouldn't have attacked with 2 there, because they're not going to get the job done. It's going to go into repair mode. Not sure why that chap seemed to have more rockets than the other one, but alright.
Unit reporting. Affirmative.
Let's hope we can attack it again before it's completely repaired. Looks like we'll be able to.
Acknowledged.
And we should be able to get the job done there as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Moving out.
Back to exploration we go. We seem to be in a pretty good state at this level. I'm not sure why they have such a vast expanse over to the right, which no enemies can possibly attack from. I like the idea of this cliff that goes all the way around the back of our base, which the enemies can exploit with artillery pieces. That's nice. They've only done it once. I'm hoping they do it again, because it's a pretty nifty feature. You may be thinking that's such a lame attack plan the computer's got, but the level is focused around orcas. It expects you to buy orcas. It gives you lots of enemy turrets to try and provoke you into buying orcas.
Yes, sir.
Having artillery coming from behind is therefore a good plan, because you really need orcas to take them down. I suppose if you parked a tank there, you could probably get the job done, but orcas are the way you're supposed to do that. A man has spawned there from that turret when it was destroyed. Unfortunately for the poor chap, this one tree is blocking his path. As we said earlier, infantry cannot navigate their way around a tree, which means he's there forever trapped, and we shall leave him there to die alone. Long, slow, painful death, starving on the top of that cliff.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Until we realised that our job was to eliminate all non-presence, which means we do need to kill him to complete the mission, which means we're going to have to turn a bombing around just for that one man at some point. What a lucky chap he is.
Sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Moving out. Moving out. Moving out. Moving out. Acknowledged.
Since we found another Tiberium patch that's guarded by a few turrets, we'll be happy to take those down and take that Tiberium for ourselves.
Construction complete.
Moving out.
Once again, this chap has more rockets than his friend.
Building.
But anyway, any of these more turret-destroying shenanigans are going to be saved for another day. That's right, going to be calling it a video here. Hopefully you'll join me next time we shall continue with this level. I shall see you then.